Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I, of course, am your host, CDB. You are not, and today we will announce the winner of the Captain's Choice giveaway as promised, but we're going to use the Haircut and Shave Company razor once again. Again, that's my own Jurgen Hempel titanium handle on there, which I love. The handle on the razor as it came, I should say, was a little bit thick for me, a little cumbersome, but it is a good shaver, smooth shaver. So let's go ahead and slap some moisture on there. Also, we're going to be using today the maca root, which is really one of my favorites. I recommend you take the maca root challenge, which is to use this for a week or two straight every day and see if you don't find that it's some really, really good stuff. It's about as good as anything out there as far as I'm concerned. Of course, that's just my opinion, but it's not as sexy per se because it's only got that 1 scent. If they had other scents, like I said before, it would be phenomenal. But do stay tuned because we'll be announcing the winner of the Fine Products by Captain's Choice. The nice bowl here, copper bowl, which is super cool. And the Venture soap, which is great. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our shave. I hope everybody's had a good weekend here. It's been raining. I was looking to do some fishing, but it didn't quite work out because it's basically rained all weekend. I got back from traveling the weekend before. I was going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina with family. They rented a house, which is super, super nice. And I had never been to the Outer Banks before. I've been to places like Topsail Island and various beaches on North Carolina, but not the Outer Banks. And it was really nice, not commercial or minimal commercialism. So it was super nice. I didn't want to come back, but you know, that's the way it goes. Got to come back and go to work and so forth. Anyway, that was super nice. It's been, I don't know, like close to probably 5 years since I've had a vacation, so it was overdue. I mean, I've taken some time off and gone fishing and made a few trips to see relatives or friends and so forth, but not a vacation per se. All right, and that feels really nice. Again, this razor, I would just characterize it as sort of a medium aggressive, smooth shaver. Really, really nice. Does just a great job. Has anybody, by the way, bought that Gillette, that razor with the heating thing on it? It's like $200-300. I mean, when I saw the price, I was like, oh, come on. Not to say it isn't good, because it may be, but I can't really justify the cost of that for a razor like that myself. If you've tried it, you know, let me know, but I will not be purchasing that. I'm not in the market to purchase hardware anymore anyway. The razors I've got are phenomenal, and so I don't really need anything else, but I don't think I would pay the money that, I don't know exactly what the price is, but it's in the couple hundred or 300, I'm not sure, but either way, it's too expensive, whether it's 200 or 300. And I gotta say, I saw a post from, I want to say the name of the company is Janus Razors or something like that, and they're announcing their new razor. I had followed them a year or two ago, and the Kickstarter price was like 300, and I don't know exactly, so it was expensive, but the retail price was supposed to be like somewhere in the neighborhood of 600, and I was like, no. I even tweeted it, and I don't like to be negative about things just for the sake of being negative, but that's just too much. If the retail price after the Kickstarter is going to be 600, no. And even if it was 500, the answer would be no. Kickstarter, no Kickstarter, that's absurd. I think companies now are getting to the point where they're just seeing how far they can go with it. Sort of like phone companies, you know, they've broken that $1,000 barrier with phones. The difference is the phones, you can use it for work. I mean, you use it all the time. So it's something that you might be able to justify spending that kind of money for. It's something that, you're probably looking at 100 times a day and doing work with it and, entertainment with it and banking. And, it's pretty much a connection to the world in a lot of cases. But, with a razor, you're shaving once a day, assuming you shave daily like most of us. And that's it. And that's not to say you can't spend money for a good durable razor that'll last a lifetime. But when it approaches that $500 and $600, no, that's just ridiculous by any standard. And I will say that. And, I got to tell you, I've tried many things over the years, but I have no interest in even trying something like that. Because I just can't stomach the cost for the people who might buy it. And I'm just not going to go down that road. That's just absurd. Unless you have the benefit of having a lot of income you can just blow. For most people, that's just a non-starter. It's ridiculous. Before we get into this pass, let's go ahead and announce the winner. The winner of the Captain's Choice Copper Bowl and Venture Soap is Steve Plumley. So Steve, shoot me your address and I'll send this on. Again, Steve Plumley. And by the way, I will have another giveaway next week. I will announce another one. I want to thank Captain's Choice, Scott from Captain's Choice, for sending that for giveaway. I do appreciate it. And I do recommend that you check out some of the products. If you like bay rum and you like burn, try that Cat O' Nine Tails. It brings it. But they have many other products too. They used to mostly sell products that had a sort of a bay rum sort of base scent, but now they have other products too, so check them out. And I can tell you, he is a good individual. He's not just looking to fleece you. I mean, of course, he's running the business. He wants to sell product, but he's a good fella. So if you're interested in supporting good people, then please give Captain's Choice a shot, as he is certainly a good person. Anyway, back to the Janus razor. Just way, way, way out of the range of most people, and maybe that's their design. They want to be a luxury item. And look, honestly, a lot of these really high-priced razors, it's just really an elite type item. They don't necessarily do anything that any other razor don't do, other than they put the cost out of the range. So only the elite, the people with the ascots and the checkered pants can afford, and the rest of us schlubs cannot. And that makes it something desirable for some people who just want to have things that other people don't have. And I get it. If you can afford it, and it doesn't hurt you, go for it. But I think it's absurd. And even if I had an extra $600 laying around just to blow, which I don't, that's ridiculous. It's just it. And take that as somebody who's spent crazy amounts of money before, which I regret. It's stupid. So don't put yourself in a situation if you're, if you have other things you want to do, or you're saving for the future, or you got a vacation coming up, use that money for that purpose. Do not use it on the next razor that comes out that's $500 or $600 that claims it's better than everything, and will, you don't even have to put it to the skin. The razor, the whiskers will just fall out when it sees this razor. Come on, that's absurd. And I know folks, again, I always say this, folks don't like it when I say that, but I'm at the point now where I don't really care. I certainly don't want to hurt anyone's business, but in my opinion, if you come out with something at that level of cost, you're marketing, sort of to one percenters, and that's who should buy it, if anyone. But personally, I wouldn't buy it, and I think most of the viewers who watch these videos probably won't be inclined to either. It's just absurd. And I don't know if that so-called retail price was a made-up thing to cause people to jump on that $300-400 Kickstarter price, but it was just, I saw it on Twitter and I was like, good grief, where have we have went terribly wrong. Because trust me, there's plenty of razors, half of that, like these, Once you get up to that $200 level with a razor, there's pretty much nothing better than that, based on my experience. I don't care if it's all titanium or whatever. You got your timeless, your above the tie, razors like this. It's as good as you're going to get as far as I'm concerned. And for a time, I thought the one blade was fantastic. But now, keep in mind, I traded for that. I didn't pay retail. And then I started using carts, and I'm like, this is basically a cart, a fancier cart. And so I got rid of that, you know. So in my view, there are literally no razors worth more than $200. Now, if you're accessorizing and buying a bunch of handles and stands, and you know, you might be able to push over that. But unless you're a collector buying maybe an old vintage razor or something that isn't produced anymore, I guess you could put a collector value on. But as far as performance value, I'm just not seeing it. That's crazy. And I have been sent some of the fancy ones from folks who bought them and used them privately, and I'm like, I still wouldn't pay $400 for this. So anyway, that's just my opinion. And again, coming from someone who's wasted money in that realm. The last thing I want to say while I'm sort of touching up here, good razor here, by the way. This I have to look at this every time. Haircut and shave razor, fine razor. But anyway, the last thing I want to say is, if you're a supporter of free speech, make sure you stand up for those people. Because this week we saw YouTube demonetizing a bunch of channels, and some of them were historical, and that's really concerning. And it was in response to someone, you know, complaining. And it's really concerning. You can go look all that up. Just Google it's called Vox Adpocalypse, and you'll see what occurred. And it's troubling to me deeply as a free speech activist, or at least not an activist per se, but someone who believes in it. That a lot of these tech companies are really being heavy-handed, and that's the way everybody communicates. So it gives them a serious potential for influencing our world, because they're stifling certain types of speech in favor of others, perhaps, and that's not a good thing. I'm in the camp that says, hey, let people espouse their point of views, and more speech can counter bad speech, you know. So I'm always for more speech, personally. Anyway, that was a really, really nice shave. I want to thank again Scott at Captain's Choice, and Steve, don't forget to email me this so I can send it to you. And next week, there will be another giveaway, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank everybody for watching. Once again, I've been your host, CDP. You're not. God bless.